Hey guys, today I'm doing some diaper laundry and I thought we would have another random topic video. I got some really good feedback on my last one, so thought we would continue this little trend series of videos. Today's topic is a little more broad and it's kind of just like parenting today, like parenting in this day and age compared to in the past, and just random stuff that has to do with that. So Eren is napping right now, but he was making a couple peeps, so he may or may not stay sleeping the whole time. Calvin's playing on the iPad in the living room, which, I mean, is that really such a terrible thing? I know a lot of people really hate kids and technology, you know, and that could be a totally different video as well. But anyway, and then the little baby girl that I watch, she is also napping in the living room. So hopefully she stays asleep as well, so we can talk a little bit about some random stuff today. So first of all, I want to kind of address the, I got my little notepad here. I want to address the phrase, "it takes a village," and how we don't have that anymore. At least not most of us, you know. Most of us probably live just you and your spouse, your kids in one house. You don't have grandmas and grandpas or aunts and uncles, or, you know, your whole family is not in your house, and you typically don't live like right next door to your family, and it's not a village per se anymore, you know. So it's just me, my husband, and our kids. We do have a friend of mine's living with us, but she's not doing anything with the children. But I would say typically these days it's not quite a village mentality. You don't have several people helping you out throughout the day when you're trying to take care of your little people, you know. It's just you and your little people while your husband's at work or whatever, or maybe you're lucky enough that he works from home, and so it's just the parents and the kids together. And so it is a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff on the parents' plate to take care of the kids. You know, it's just me running the house while my husband's at work and the children are here too. You know, it's a lot of stuff to get done when it's pretty much just you, you know. Just from my experience the past month or so of watching an additional little girl, having 3 under 3 right now, that is some hectic stuff, you know. Just in the moments when, you know, Eren, who is 9 months old, wants to nurse, he's getting tired, he wants to fall asleep, and the baby girl is also tired and she wants a bottle. I mean, it gets stressful with so many needs you have to take care of, you know. So I totally understand how awesome it could have been to have that kind of village mentality where I've got these 2 little people who both need me at the same time, but I have my sister over here, or my mom over here, or somebody who can like come and assist me, you know, who can hear, you know, even just physically hearing the children flipping out and being like, oh, Elena needs some help, I'm gonna go help her with those crazy babies. But it's not like that anymore. There's nobody here to hear me struggling with the kids. So in a way, raising kids today is harder for that reason. You don't have a village to help you. But in other ways, I think it can be easier too. You know, like things like having a washing machine. Like I literally could not imagine what it would be like to not have a washing machine. Like that has to be like the best invention ever. Like seriously. I mean, I've done like the flats challenge, washing diapers and stuff by hand. I do not want to be washing all of my family's clothes by hand. That does not sound appealing at all. But then you gotta think of it the other way too. Like we own a lot more clothes than we ever have at any other point in history, you know, like consumerism today, this society where we have to buy everything is not something that happened in the past, you know, like just the fact that we have 7 pairs of jeans instead of just a couple, you know, or whatever. It's a different situation than it was in the past just because of how much clothes we own. So we're doing a lot more laundry than we used to too, you know. That's just kind of a side note. So, I mean, in some aspects, the washing machine is totally necessary because of the amount of clothes that we own these days. And then there's husbands. And I would say overall, just from my experience my family's experience, you know, comparing my dad to my husband, or my grandpa to my dad to my husband, husbands are expected to do a lot more than they ever did in the past. Is that just the trend of society, or is it because women are also working more than they did in the past? So if both spouses are working outside the home, the husband's expected to pick up some of the household stuff as well, you know? So is that just what, I don't know exactly where that stems from, I guess, but I would say my husband is, even though I hold my dad on this pedestal, my dad is the best dad ever, I still think my husband is better than him as far as being a husband, you know, like just helping out around the house, helping with the children and stuff. Like my husband definitely does a lot more than my dad, I ever saw my dad do when we were little, that I ever hear my mom talking about, like how my dad was when we were little or anything. And especially compared to my grandparents, you know, my grandpas were not necessarily involved in the child rearing side of things, and that could just be my own personal experience. Perhaps that's not how everybody is, but I feel like that's at least kind of the trend, at least, you know, compare your husband to your grandpa especially, and I'm sure your husband's doing a lot more around the house and a lot more with the kids directly than your grandpa did. That's just my opinion. But also, we work long hours these days, you know, like I don't know exactly, like maybe 100 years ago or 200 years ago, but further back than that, you really didn't, you like worked your own little thing. You worked on the land near your home. You worked in the town near your home. You didn't commute 50 miles every day. You know, you were close to home, and you probably weren't working, you know, exactly these hours or whatever. I mean, I just feel like today, people who are working outside the home are working such long hours away from their family. Like my husband works, he's gone from 5:30 until 5:15. He's gone from 5:30 in the morning until 5:15 in the evenings. And that sucks. It sucks. He has a very long commute. He's about an hour either way, and then he works 9.5 hours or whatever during the day. And it's sucky, you know, to only have a few hours to spend with your family in the evenings. That's a crappy situation, really. And although his job is awesome, he has some great benefits, he works for some awesome people, and I think he likes his job, you know, for the most part. I think he enjoys what he does, but it's still a lot of time to not be spending with your family. And I feel like a couple hundred years ago, that's not how people were working. So I've been on both ends of the working mom situation. I've only been at home for a little over a month now, so I can't necessarily speak directly to stay-at-home moms specifically. I don't feel like I have that authority yet, but I can speak to what it's like to be a working mom and the guilt that you have being away from your babies. And it's funny because you also get guilt being at home too. You know, you feel guilty that, you know, I mean, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, like, you know, if I didn't do all the things I needed to accomplish this week, like doing all the laundry or doing all the dishes or, you know, cleaning the bathrooms or whatever, you know, you feel guilty for not getting enough done at home, and yet you also feel guilty for being, you know, going to work and being away from the babies there, you know. So there's a lot of different ways to feel guilty as a mom, and that's really sad. It's really sad that you feel bad about your job, your role in the family, like pretty much no matter what your role in the family is. And although I wouldn't say I have a ton of mom guilt or just, you know, parent guilt in general as a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom or whatever you want to call me, right now I can totally understand how some women do have those kinds of feelings. Like, it does suck, like when your husband is gone all day and you only get to spend a couple hours together in the evenings, and it feels kind of like he doesn't really get, like, it feels like he doesn't get how, you know, I know your job's stressful, I've been out in the real world working, you know, but this place is stressful too. Like, those tiny people are stressful as well. You know, like, there's stress on both ends of things. And I can understand women who feel like their husband doesn't get it or whatever. I can understand that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say that I have any business talking about that kind of stuff just yet, because I've only been home for like a month, but I get it. I get that there's guilt on all sides sometimes. And lastly, I just wanted to touch a little bit on social media and how it can be both sucky and beneficial in parenting in today's age. I can see it both ways. Like, I can see how comparing yourself to other moms, like all those perfect little Instagram families that just seem like they've got everything together. You know, it doesn't, like, they have the most perfect kitchen, it's never messy, you know, just like all that kind of little stuff. I can see how that gets to you. But also, I think that it can kind of be beneficial in a way to social media in general. Just being able to speak to other moms and be connected to other moms through the internet. It's just such an easier way to get some kind of socialization, you know, when you're stuck here with all the tiny people all the time, you know. I'm sure you guys kind of get what I'm saying with that. You know, so in a way, we're kind of lucky as a generation who's able to speak to other moms while you're stuck at home. You know, you're technically in this house with tiny people all day, but just hopping on your phone for 5 minutes, you can enter a whole new world of mommies out there. Like, even just watching a video like this, you know, feeling like you're, oh my gosh, like, I think parenting today is just such a stressful, crazy thing. I don't understand how it's so different than it used to be in the past. And coming across a video like this that kind of helps you see that other people are feeling the same way too. You know, there's somebody else out there who sees that this is a crazy world we live in, and yet we can contact each other through this magical internet thing, right? So I think it's both beneficial and negative at the same time. So I think that any of those topics that I just kind of covered could be their own separate video. There's definitely a lot to say about a lot of different sides of this topic, but I just kind of wanted to rant a little bit and just kind of get some feelings out there, say some stuff that it's been kind of on my mind lately, and I just thought it would be fun to share it in a video like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If there are any other comments, any other topics you guys have that you'd like to kind of discuss, I would totally be open to any kind of video suggestions, topic suggestions down below. I love hearing from you guys, I really do. It feels like such a nice community, getting to talk to other mommies out there and with their own mommy struggles, and to hear similar, you know, being able to find similar stories with other people. It makes me feel like I've got some mommy friends out there when I really don't have like a bunch of mommy friends here in the real world. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did like it, and I'll talk to you next time.